Dr. E.N.G. Marek Gruszecki. Philosophy of Being. Krakow, 2025. My 85th anniversary. Philosophical essay Does God Exist? Krakow, the 19th of April 2025.
Secrets of the Moon, Part 1. The moon is more necessary for humanity than we think. It influences the climate and even the tilt of the planet's axis. What would happen if it disappeared? Without it, the Earth's weather would change. It would have the effect of driving ocean currents, which have a huge impact on the weather. They create flows of warm and cold water around the world. Tidal currents help to mix cold Arctic water with warmer waters in the tropics. This balances temperatures and stabilizes the climate around the world. The moon is close to us and has its own gravity, which affects our planet. It is not as strong as the Earth's, but enough to pull our oceans in different directions. The satellite-induced cycle of tides has always determined the rhythm of life on our planet, because, according to one theory, it actually created it. It was due to the occurrence of strong tides, caused by the moon being much closer at the time, that billions of years ago the seashores began to dry out regularly, turning into biological incubators. Today, although the tides no longer produce new organisms, they ensure a constant exchange of nutrients. After 2 months of reduced tides, the consequences would be dire. Coastal ecosystems would be virtually destroyed, disrupting the flow of energy, water, minerals, and other resources. Thousands of species of crabs, snails, mussels, or other creatures and plants live in these marine spaces. They are fed by birds and land mammals, such as bears and deer. Without the moon's gravitational force, the tilt of our planet's axis would probably also change. This could lead to changes in the seasons or even their disappearance. And in the longer term, an ice age could occur. If the moon were to suddenly cease its role, the Earth would spin around its axis, as it did at the time of its birth, 3 times faster than it does today. As a result of the accelerated rotation of the planet, the air masses in the atmosphere would behave completely differently. Orcans blowing at 300 to 500 kilometers per hour would wreak havoc on all the continents, making it very difficult for us to survive. If the satellite suddenly disappeared, the blue planet would lack this stabilizing counterweight. It would go into a corkscrew and change its inclination from 0 to 85 degrees every few million years. There would no longer be seasons, only separate climate zones with either hellish heat or crackling cold. The young Earth was frequently bombarded by various bodies from space. One such collision was to result in the formation of the moon. Oh, thank God. Secrets of the Moon, Part 2. Is our satellite a child of chance? Scientists have determined that it was formed roughly 4.6 billion years ago as a result of a collision between the Earth and a Mars-sized protoplanet called Theia. The velocity of the collision was about 40,000 kilometers per hour. This may have marked the end of the Earth. About 2% of Theia's mass formed an orbiting ring of matter around the Earth after being ejected into space. Within a century after impact, about half of the ring's mass had accumulated to form the moon. The original period of rotation and the inclination of the Proteus' axis changed after the impact. Thanks to the resulting inclination of the rotation axis, the phenomenon of seasons now occurs. The present favorable climate for plants, animals, and humans would not have formed if it were not for the moon. The moon's pull stabilizes the tilt of the Earth's axis of rotation, thus providing more sunshine to the northern or southern hemisphere every 6 months. Before the moon was created, the day on our planet was 3 times shorter. Through its mass, the satellite acted as a cosmic brake to limit rotation, so that today we live in a 24-hour rhythm. This influence still persists and continues to slow down the blue globe by 16 microseconds per year. The moon is the blue planet's bodyguard. More than 16% of the surface of our natural satellite is covered by craters, discernible to the naked eye on a cloudless night as shadows. These are the effects of collisions with cosmic rock debris which, if it were not for the moon, would have hit the Earth. Permanently turned away from us, the dark side of the silver globe is all riddled with such asteroid impact marks. As the satellite has no atmosphere of its own, space projectiles hit it at speeds of up to 216,000 kilometers per hour. So far, scientists have discovered 5,430 craters on the moon's surface formed by rock fragments so large that if they collided with the Earth, they would do catastrophic damage. An example? The South Pole Aitken Basin, Located on the invisible side of our natural satellite, this impact crater is one of the largest of its kind in the entire solar system. It is 2,500 kilometers in diameter and 13 kilometers deep. You have to admit, these numbers are impressive. However, the idol will not last forever. As a result of tidal action, the Earth has been slightly deformed, causing our satellite to be gently accelerated in its orbit. As a result, its size is increasing, and the Moon is slowly moving away from the blue planet. Nevertheless, mankind need not look for a way to survive without its faithful companion. It will still be several billion years before the silver globe leaves us for good.
Conclusion. But Jesus, overhearing what was being said, said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Do not be afraid, only believe." Bible, Mark 5 verse 36. It will still be beautiful, despite everything. Just put on comfortable shoes, because you have your whole life to go through. John Paul II. Mathematics in Nature.